Welcome and welcome back. I'm Martin and Heavyocity did it again. They released a new library and it's always a little bit like Christmas. And then if you find out that that library is part of the Damage family, the surprise is really big. And then you realize, hey, wait a minute, they did something completely crazy. They dismantled the Damage piano to realize a percussion library out of that sounds that you can get knocking and strumming and pushing and pulling and whatsoever you can do with an acoustic piano. I wrote a demo track, Uncharted Ways. I suggest we have a listen to that demo track and then I will go into details about this library. So yeah, in the demo track, what did I do precisely? Just quickly to tell you, there are the expandables, those other libraries that you need to get the job done maybe. If you're interested in a detailed walkthrough of that demo track, let me know in the comments. I would be happy to do so. So I thought, a Uncharted 88 damaged piano, what library would suit it better than Ascent? So I started out with Ascent here, having those hits, then laying out the chords, nothing too strange. Then later on, just getting it a little more rhythmical, and I do have even here from the Foundation series the staccato strings, the bass and the choir, they do precisely this. Pretty uplifting. And then I thought, yes, the human voice for sure would suit that demo track. So I went for vocalies and I just placed some A's, some intervals, and I combined some melody lines. So this is how it sounds. Let's start from here. Yeah. Yeah, let's forget about the expandables, we mute them, and let's listen to Uncharted 88. It's around 11 gig of a library, over 18,000 samples, and they really went deep into knocking and strumming and, you know, so many various sounds. Listen to only this wonderful percussion, which might be a song by itself. So I guess you get the idea, but it wouldn't be Heavyocity if it wouldn't be placed in the wonderful, wonderful Damage engine. And it's not only one engine, there are 3 engines within the Damage master engine, if you will. And let's have a look a little bit about these 3 different engines, what precisely they do. So my favorite one personally is the Ensemble Designer. In the Ensemble Designer, you do have that virtual stage, and that is really something pretty cool and pretty unique, because you press the keys and then you see on the stage where that element is. Obviously, in the Designer, you do get bare, prepared snapshots. Feel free to make your own. Really, it's definitely worth it. Learning that engine. And then, you know, you can switch off the stage and then you don't get this 3-dimensional sound anymore. But if you have the stage open, you can here decide the width of the stage, and then for every single element, you can say where you want to place it. Just look what I did, for example, in this track. You see there is one element completely to the right and one element completely to the left. This one is quite centered, this one is quite centered, and then there's this one which I placed in the behind to the right side, and then there's this one which I placed in front to the left, which is this sound. But just by dragging it, you can place it wherever you want on that virtual stage. You can go here into mix and then mix between the various microphones, and this goes sound by sound. It's not an overall change. There are the 2 pages. There is the mixer page, which is global for the whole ensemble that you're setting up here, but there is then the drum page, and what you do here goes precisely, let's take this one, for this particular note. So it doesn't affect the others, it's only for this one, and this is another thing which is really cool. And we are here on the stage page. You can go to the source page where you then have here the various categories in banks, and then here the single instruments. And if you would like to change the instrument that is on that key, with this one for example, you just drag it there. As easy as that. So really learn how to use this library. On the settings page, you do have something else which is pretty cool, because you do have the performance possibility to switch it on, and then you can create crescendi for the length of 1 bar, for example, or only 1/8 or 1/4. With the rate and the amount and the timing and the velocity. The same goes for a swell, which then swells in and swells out. A flame, which is just a pre-hit, if you will, a roll. And even this one goes for this sound. You see the other ones are not affected. It's only about this one. So I want to keep this video short, but if you're interested to have a deeper insight of those engines, the Ensemble Designer, or the Kit Designer, or the Loop Designer, let me know in the comments. Then I might make other videos just explaining in depth what all those buttons and all those knobs do. But I think you get the idea how cool this is. And repeat, and even here you can set the length, you can switch it on 2 times, you know, or 4 times. Or you switch on the loop and then it's just looping. And then on the master effects, obviously this is where you have the effects rack, where you can choose which effects you want. You can choose even the setup of them, and there is the punish knob, which goes from gentle to hurt me plenty to nightmare, and even this one, right click, learn MIDI-CC automation, and you can automate it like all the other things. It's always right click, learn MIDI-CC automation. It's worth getting really deep inside that library, because it's not just 18,000 samples and then you have them on the keys and that's it. No, there is an engine behind it that really allows you to get your creativity going through the roof if you know how to use that beast. Then we do have, after that, Ensemble Designer, for example, the Kit Designer, which is something a little bit different, because this one is thought if you have maybe a machine or whatever, you know, with the pads to play on, or if you simply would like to have a drum kit to play. And even this one is pretty cool, because you do have here the mixer page where every sound, the same thing, you can pen it wherever you want it. You can mix the volume between them. You can have here, you know, the EQ, the compressor, all that stuff. And even this goes per note. It's not a global setting. This is really key by key, where you can decide what to do. If I should do a walkthrough of that demo track, then you will see how much I worked with that stage to really have the various percussion elements all over the place. Then we do have even here the source page, where you can say, ooh, I like this sound, I would like to have it on the G1. You just drag it there, as easy as that, to create your own kit if you are not happy with the kits that Heavyocity is already providing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them already prepared. Then there's the settings page. For example, the sample start. Nice feature, even this one. The tuning, the velocity, sensibility, the attack, the decay, the release, the choke. If I switch on the choke, as soon as you press another key, that first sound doesn't ring out. You see? It gets choked. There are so many possibilities, so many possibilities. And then even here, the master effects, there's the effects rack, there's the punish button. That's the Kit Designer. And then, yes, there is even the Loop Designer, which can come in pretty handy if you are under pressure, if you need to come out with an idea, with a demo, whatever, pretty quick. So you see, even there you have straight or triplet loops, and there are quite a lot of them. So you can choose one, and then, which is pretty cool, in the Loop Designer you press one key in this blue range and it triggers 3 octaves above to give you a complete loop, which is in this case then constructed by the bass, the middle and the heights. You see, I press this key and the other keys get pressed the same. How do you do this? You do this with the designer keys. So if I press this F, you can see that F is triggered and even that F is triggered. There's nothing triggered in the highest range. So I can do this. Let's go through the highest range to look for a loop that we like on the higher notes. This one, let's say this one, you press learn whilst you are on that F, you press that key, you switch off learn, and now look at that interface. If I press the F, you see it's the F, and this note which I just pressed, which is now triggered with blue keys, the designer keys, firing up the complete loop. If you want only the low notes, here they are. Another nice feature are the stutters, which are here on the red keys. And another pretty cool feature, and I have a video on my channel in the 2-minute pills how to assign transitions and booms to your loops. The uppest octave is having those transitions and time synced sounds. Even they are pretty cool. You can do this on the source page, but as I said, there is already a video of mine on my channel where I explain how precisely to do this. But even here you do have the various loops, and even there you just drag them to the keys where you would like to have them. You do have even here a effects rack where you can choose 4 effects. You can modulate them. You see, there is a modulator where you can automate how those effects get in and out. And even here, there are the master effects. There's the punish button. So you see, even that loop is a pretty cool thing. And another detail, which is pretty nice, you do have for every loop the possibility to pan it, to tune it, to make it slower, faster, the send amount to those effects. That is so cool. You do have the start, you do have the end, and you do have even the repeat point. So the loop starts here, gets until the end. Let's shorten this a little bit. And then after the end, it doesn't get back to the start, but to that repeat point. As I said, it's definitely worth learning that library, but I would like to show you another thing before we stop this, because as I said, I wanted to keep that video pretty short because you should get this library, you should check it out. And thanks to Heavyocity, because they sent me an NFR copy so I could test drive it and I could come up with my demo track, the Uncharted ways. And what I wanted to show you, just how deeply sampled those knocks and hits are. You see, it's really velocity sensitive. There is a part where I do have here, let's get quickly through this just to yeah, I was changing that one sound which now made this knarzen noise, which obviously wasn't in my drum, but just to give you an idea how cool. Okay, but you can change this. This one, we changed this one. You just get to the sort page. You choose the sound, you place it there, and that's it. You see? It's a wonderful library. And talking about demo tracks, even this one now is an official demo track for Heavyocity. I wrote even the Weightless, which was the official demo track for the Vocalese 3 library. So if you would like to see a walkthrough of how I wrote that demo track for Vocalese Weightless, there's the link. Check it out. And I think that's it from my side for today. I hope I could show you how cool and how diverse this percussion library is. This is not your everyday, again, taikos or whatever. This is a complete different beast, and it really can add a wonderful color to your music, to your scores, to your tracks. I'm happy with it, really happy with it. And even thanks to Heavyocity, they gave me the chance to check this out, to try this, to have a lot of fun with it. I think you can tell I do have here 11 tracks of the Uncharted, which that's so cool. If you have ever been in a room with an acoustic piano and then maybe you started to shout, yeah, or you were knocking on something and then you heard those strings vibrate, this is exactly what this library is representing. I like it. And that's it for today from my side. Make good music always. See you in the next video or on the next live stream. And if you like videos like this, then please consider even subscribing to my channel. I just hit the 2.5k note, which is really, really making me happy. Thanks everybody for your support. Bye bye.